Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel. It's great to be here as always. And today is a great day because we have some drama. You guys know that I'm a petty bastard and I love drama, particularly when it is gun community drama or gun industry drama. Gun on gun crime. That sounds really bad. There's no way. Gun people, no, you can't do it. You can't get it done. There's no way that you can say that and make it sound good, so we're just going to leave it as it is. So this is specifically political drama. You know, whenever we talk about political stuff, we have to put a disclaimer in here because while I have to disclose any kind of political contributions or payments that I receive from any political candidate or anything like that, the political candidates themselves can hide all their money through shell corporations and political action committees and a whole bunch of other stuff that allow them to operate with a whole bunch of funny money, right? So they're allowed to do that. They have the rules for me, but not for them. So, you know, that's the way that it goes. So today, disclosure, I've not been paid by anybody to do this video for or against. I don't even really support any political race in the state of Colorado because I don't live in Colorado. However, what we have here is some slimy stuff that I would like to bring to your attention. You might recognize this face. This is Ava Flanell. She's a Second Amendment content creator and a small business owner in the Second Amendment space. I've known her for about a decade, something like that. She is not a politician, but she has nonetheless decided to run for House District 14 in the state of Colorado. And of course, whenever somebody who isn't a part of the political ruling class injects themselves into that world, the system recoils because they don't want outsiders there that might come in and mess up some of their carefully laid plans that they've been scheming for years. Today's video is brought to you by the Modern Gun School. This is an accredited online university. Whether you're looking to learn a few things or trying to break into a career in the firearms industry, this place is set up to be streamlined and work for you so that you don't have to burn a large quantity of money to get an education in the firearms arts. And that gives you some latitude to pursue other educational pursuits like, a business degree on top of your firearms education. So go check them out at Modern Gun School and tell them that I sent you. Let's get into today's video. As I mentioned, Ava's a small business owner and has been a contributor in the gun space for some time now. And she also most recently stepped into the political realm when it came to the gun control madness that they were trying to do in the state of Colorado.
This bill is a waste of resources. It's a waste of Colorado Parks and Wildlife's time. And again, this bill just puts Colorado in jeopardy of losing the Pittman-Robertson revenue because of immoral bill sponsors who have no respect for wildlife and conservation.
Enter Rocky Mountain Gun Owners Association, which, as far as I can tell, seems to be some kind of extension of the National Association for Gun Rights. They kind of do these like local chapters, and sometimes they name them the same thing, sometimes they name them something different. But this seems to be what it is, and as far as I can tell, as far as their contributions to the fight against SB 25-3, they did fundraising off of it. I mean, I wasn't there on the ground, so I couldn't tell you what exactly they did. But I can tell you what they're doing right now. Howdy, this is Hannah from Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. Ava Flanell, who falsely won the HD 14 vacancy a few weeks ago, cannot be trusted. Flanell received a glowing endorsement from the known Rhino Senator Lisa Frizzle, who teamed up with radical leftists to sponsor SB 86, a California-style social media censorship bill that would have been weaponized by the state attorney general to purge pro-2A content from the internet. Despite being a 2A social media influencer, Ava was oddly quiet and refused to take a position against this awful legislation. Gun owners in HD 14 deserve better. Now, this is obviously not an original. I am not in Colorado, so I wouldn't receive such text message. This is something that I've pulled off the internet, and I'm sure that if we had the entire text message, that we would probably have some kind of donate now button in there as well. But what we come to find out is that Rocky Mountain Gun Owners Association had their own candidate They really wanted stuff in that slot, and it looks like their boy got passed over. Enter Joe Woyte, paid for by Rocky Mountain gun owners. And they are getting wrecked in the comments. So who is this guy, Joe Woyte? Well, we have tools to look at that sort of stuff, like political contributions on the FEC. And as far as those things are concerned, I haven't seen any real glaring contributions to a Dianne Feinstein or anything like that. It looks like all of his federal contributions are to things like Win Red and Republican-based stuff like that, but they're still political contributions. So he's in the funny money game. If we do a similar search on Ava, nothing there. Imagine that. But that's not the whole story because, that's the federal stuff. If you run for statewide office, oftentimes that stuff doesn't show up on FEC. You have to go to the individual state stuff. So what do the contributions at the state level look like? Yep, a whole bunch of them. Imagine that. If we look at Ava's stuff, look at that. Empty, yet again. It's almost like one of them is a career political grifter, and the other one is a small business owner, regular old citizen that feels themselves compelled to get involved in the government to do something about it. You see, the thing about political contributions is they don't go away, and they are pretty much the most extreme form of endorsement, because what you've said is, I have taken some of my worth, some of the time that I had on this planet that I converted into physical currency, and I took that and handed it to somebody else because I believed in who they are and what they do. And I find some of these contributions that this dude made to be very interesting. Kanda for Colorado. This Kanda. Citizens for Carl Brunning. This Carl Brunning. Wayne Williams for Colorado. The same Wayne Williams that Rocky Mountain Gun Owners Association had to sue. Boys and girls, you can't make this up. This guy looks like he's got fantastic judgment. But remember, he filled out a 100% survey. But having somebody like that as your front man in government makes sense for the Rocky Mountain Gun Owners Association. Because if you browse the content on their website, they seem to like Pam Bondi a whole lot, which says a lot about their judgment as well. They've composed many a piece that seems to think that she's the best thing on the planet.
Let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
As a grifter myself, I don't really cast a whole lot of shade on other folks that are out there doing similar things. I do have limits when it comes to grifting off of the Second Amendment. Like, are you actually doing anything out there? Like, I cover the news and I go out and do, testing and stuff like that. But is an organization like Rocky Mountain Gun Owners actually collecting money and using that money for things, or are they just paying a whole bunch of executives in positions? I don't know. I have no interaction with them whatsoever. But what I do have a major problem with is when an organization like that may or may not be conducting themselves in that manner, attacks a real Second Amendment advocate that is out there actually doing the work and has established themselves in that space. And I can hear it now. This isn't me white knighting over some pretty girl or something like that. This isn't me trying to establish something so I can text her later and be like, hey, can I see your boobies? Nothing like that, although the word on the street is that they're real. But I'm a married man who has a very attractive wife who happens to be 6 months pregnant right now. I could give a shit less about that sort of stuff. What I care about is that there are people out there actually doing the work that have established themselves as real Second Amendment advocates that are getting involved in government, just like Brandon Herrera and others out there that have had enough. And when establishment candidates get their panties in a wad because they get beat by somebody who did it through attrition over years of establishing themselves, yeah, I get pissed off about that. So you can say what you want about me. This is me doing a video for a friend of mine of my own volition. She didn't ask me to do it because I think that the lies that are being spread about her are wrong. And now you know more about the Rocky Mountain Gunners Association. Have a good weekend, everybody.